Hello, Swapna. Nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Harry, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, thank you for taking the time to speak to me today. Now, Swapna, you've got a very interesting history. Just want to ask you, why did you get into IT?
Yeah. So there is a little bit background about why I got into IT. I studied from India. So in India, education system is slightly different in terms of the progression after year 10. The students get to choose based on what they wanted to pursue further. Like they could choose maths, physics, chemistry, which is called as MPC, where they will lead to the engineering, side of field. And the others is like biology focus, arts focus, and there's another stream called diploma, which is like a 3-year course, which can, after passing the diploma, which is called as a polytechnic course, where you get a small job, like entry level job. So to start with, because I was in year 10, so I didn't have much, the awareness of how the market is, how things work. So my cousin helped me to choose computer science. So after year 10, once I started, studying computer science, then there is no turning back. I just hooked on it and I continued further studies. Although when I started diploma, my intention was like, let's clear the 3 years course and just get a job. But I
Okay,
continued for another, 6 to 7 years, and then continued the same in the same field, which is IT focus, like which is computer science and engineering.
okay.
The interest, what made me to get into IT and continue in IT is the continuous learning. IT, the technology is evolving rapidly, and you have continuous learning opportunities. Even today, every 3 months, every 6 months, I keep upgrading my knowledge, like, getting myself certified into various technologies I'm working on.
Okay.
So that's me pushing here. And another thing, I always have this, like, could my job make any impact to the society, or outside my organization? Yes, it does, definitely. People have a misconception is IT is all about coding, but it's not.
And
Working as IT
what
professional,
what area do you specialize in?
I'm an Azure principal DevOps consultant. So I work for a company called Version One, which is a digital cloud transformation consultancy firm. So we have public sector clients, public sector, private sector, and some financial technology as well. So we help them to for the cloud migration, cloud adoption, and evolution projects.
Okay. So the cloud is like a buzzword. It's like a very common word that a lot of people have heard. How would you describe it in a very simple way, like in a few sentences? What is the cloud?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. So uh, cloud has a lot of, the in terms of the benefits and the costs. So if I look at the organization wide, rather than buying a hardware and putting everything on it, so with the cloud, it's like you have several facilities like pay as you go, and you have different contracts there, so where you can have a lot of financial benefit for the organization. Even way back, when I go back to 10 years, for a layman terms, if I want to talk about anybody who wants to learn some technology, earlier you need to have a computer, having a right, right setup for it, right config, having a good RAM, good hard disk, and good software, and you have to install everything. With the cloud, you can just go, we have a platform of services. Like if you want to learn anything in the SQL DB, go just have a spin a SQL DB and learn the SQL DB. So it's all, um,
So the
even for the
DB,
ones,
so the people that don't know, so DB would be the
database.
database. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong. So the cloud is just a way to store things remotely. So if you want to, if you have a computer and it's not powerful, you can access
Yeah,
resources in the cloud. So if you think of things like
in the data center, cloud-based data center. Yeah,
yeah, so if you think about things like storage for your iPhone or
yeah.
storage for your Gmail, that's all stored in the cloud somewhere. And it's really interesting because technology is changing all the time. So it's a really interesting career to go into. Now, do you think there are enough women, or do you think more women need to go into IT?
There's a definitely lot of potential requirement for women to be in IT. Actually, it's a right question at the right time you asked me. Unless you study and research, you wouldn't know the facts. With me being, selected as a UN UK women delegate, that opened up for me to study more about, what is the gender gap issues, how many women are there. I've done a small, the business idea for my current company as well, where I'm working on. So as per the national statistics, if you look at it, we are about 26% compared to men. So, and when I looked at thoroughly, so there's a lot of gap, to fill that gender gap, it takes 132 years to meet that gender gap, to bring that 50% to 50%. Yes, there are not enough women in IT, but over the past recent years, there have been a lot of progress, the organization coming with the new policies, flexibility, the part-time opportunities for the women, and even, bringing up some returners program as well, women who are on a career break for the childcare issues, they can come back with a, like a cohort program within the organization. All the public sector, the private organization is up for it.
Excellent, very good. Yeah, that sounds very interesting. So at Avanti Fostering, we really like to focus on education. And speaking with you today is very interesting because IT may be a career choice that girls haven't really thought about before. Now, why would you recommend IT to girls that are growing up that are not sure what career to choose? Why would you say, okay, IT, it's a good career choice to think about?
So for the jobs for the IT, the demand is always high for the high IT skill professions. But the girls has the interest about analytical thinking, logical thinking, and they have that the interest and the excitement for the technology, it is the right place. And most of the people outside IT thinks that IT is just about coding. It is not. It has broad range of specialities. Apart from the development, you have network administration, cyber security, data analysis. Even if people doesn't like purely for a coding, they could choose like program management or business analyst. You can like customer facing roles as well. So there are diverse opportunities, continuous learning, and for girls who are into problem solving, it is a great place to. And flexibility has also been introduced after COVID. There's a lot of flexibility for the women as well, like working, as I said, working in a reduced hours, flexibility regarding the part-time opportunities. The flexibility is being accommodated now, and on top of it, salary is like a competitive salary compared to the other roles in the market. Yeah.
Perfect. So if they are thinking about getting into IT, what would you recommend? How would you, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, for girls, consider taking the STEM, involved in a STEM program. So there's some program called Girls Who Code. There would be within their schools as well. There'll be the STEM program, or you can look out for the STEM programs internet. Like I'm a STEM ambassador as well, so we visit the schools and an aspiration day or talk about our profession, and keep up to date with the technology. And for the women, if they wanted to come back to, if they're on a career break, or, they are in a non-IT profession and they wanted to get into the IT, the best thing is that first understand the market, the IT market, what are the roles the current market is looking for. And join some courses. There'll be like some boot camps going and around. Sign up for the boot camps, they're really good. And do networking is also important. Sign into LinkedIn, get connected to the people, understand what they're looking for. Find a mentor. That's
Excellent.
also good.
So
Yeah.
STEM here is science, technology, engineering, and maths.
Yes.
And you mentioned like problem solving. So there's other things like critical thinking. Do
Yes.
you think there's any creativity within IT?
You could be a graphic designer. Again, I'm a person who comes from the creative background, so there is a way
Okay.
to do the things, right? So the
Yeah,
creative comes in, kicks in that place. How you interact with a person. So there is a blind way of doing it and creative way of doing it. So you can use a creativity in the communication, how you wanted to communicate to the, your stakeholders or within your company, or I do a lot of public speaking, like there also creativity comes in place, how you wanted to pitch the idea within that group of people. So but if they're purely for the creating, like the graphic designing, web designing, these are the other areas which are
perfect.
more.
And also with AI growing, I mean, I think in the future there will be jobs that haven't even been created yet.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
it's like if you have those problem solving, critical thinking skills, it can really help you in the future.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Swapna. Thank you
Thanks,
for
Harry, for
giving me
the
your
opportunity.
time. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Swapna.
Bye for
Bye.
now. Yes.
Bye-bye.